follow you and you follow me. Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope that you're having the best day that you can have today. My name is Justin, and today I'm bringing you my album review of Genesis album, And Then There Were Three. This is their 9th studio album, which was released in 1978. And of course, as with most of my reaction videos and album reviews, I'll link a playlist down below where you can watch my initial thoughts and reactions to each of the tracks on the album. But without further ado,
let's go.
This album would mark the band's first album performing as a trio. Guitarist Steve Hackett leaving the band to pursue his own, still growing, solo career. And just as with the departure of Gabriel from years before, would the band sink into the undertow when down and out? Or would they manage to turn it on again? I am so sorry, and I apologize for what I've just said. Personally, while I wouldn't call this one of their strongest albums, I also wouldn't call it necessarily weak. Perhaps it's a bit undervalued. The upward trajectory of Trick of the Tail, followed by Wind and Wuthering, is halted, but it's just a brief dip before they find their footing again with Duke. Banging it out of the gate with the first track, Down and Out, if this is one of Genesis' heaviest drum grooves. I mean, seriously, like, it's a great groove they got going on here. That rhythm is filled with percussive bites, strong-arming the song into the danger zone. Tony's sizzling synths are weaving in and out through the flames. They're quite intelligently played, as a matter of fact, in just the creative use of them here. His solo at the end even sort of emotionally and perhaps thematically connects to the ending of Wind and Wuthering, thus kind of giving the album a little bit of a spiritual continuity. It's easily one of the highlights in this album. Undertow is a big song with big heart. It's really moving and uplifting without ever coming across as sappy. I think that the strength in this particular track lies in the melodic nature of it. And I would say specifically in Phil's performance, of course singing wise, but even drumming in this one. You can tell that his singing really has grown. The brightness of his voice is really displayed very well here. And the drum fills really guide each movement with life-affirming certainty. Journeying out west, we stumble upon an old legend about a cowboy named Big Jim and a bet gone south. Or would it be west? They call Jim Yellow. While it's not one of my favorites on the album, I think that it remains a fun little detour in the journey of it all, kind of in the spirit of Harold the Barrel or Robbery, Assault and Battery. And to be honest, I don't really have a lot to say on this one, but I think the one thing that keeps it listenable, even throughout its kind of silly nature, is really the performance of everything. It's the musicianship that everything is played with. You know, it's played with levity, but not to the point where it reaches parody. Velvety, rich strings from Rutherford and snowy keys make Snowbound a dark, wintry tale come to life. You know, the chorus especially is really powerful. This one's just a delight to listen to. The chorus, not only because of the size and the spacing and how big it feels, but for example, the subtlety of Tony as he plays in there, blending wintry whispers with open arrangements. I especially enjoy the little run-up and lead-in, but just before the chorus. That's just really nice. I think that the one thing that holds me back in this track is I like the sound of it all. I just wish that structurally it was just a little more interesting, and that actually it was a little longer. I would have liked to have seen these ideas kind of expanded into something else, because I really like the atmosphere and the mood of it. I just wanted more out of it. Burning Rope starts really dramatically, but I really enjoyed the way that it comes down. About 1:50 in, it's a very smooth and curious bass line that enters, and the concise drumming in the verse really makes those big moments pop. Structurally, it's also really fun to listen to, probably their most progressive song here on the album, and it takes a bit of an unexpected turn in certain moments. The build-ups lead to things that you wouldn't quite, expect. And honestly, this track is kind of the definition of being melodically progressive to me. Mike has a majestic little solo, maybe a little over halfway through, which really feels like the rope is being burned at both ends. Because Mike also comes back at the end, so literally like kind of being burned at both ends. Tony strikes gold in every moment, in every synth theme that he comes back to as we get into deep in the Motherlode. I really enjoy the slowed down pocket rhythm. It just feels really nice to kind of settle into that. And the exploratory expositions between each of the members' voices is fully realized almost kind of urging each other on in this one. Many Too Many brings in the piano mellotron combination, sentimental singing, and guitar cries that make this kind of a pleasant soft spot on the album. The transitions between the verse and the chorus and back to verse feel magical, and you can really tell that the band was locked in on this one, knowing when to expand the breadth of the track and when to exhale. And apparently this was also the last time that a mellotron was featured on a Genesis song, which is kind of sad. Scenes from a Night's Dream. Nemo needs to go back to sleep. I can't quite put my finger on it, but I just don't like this song. For some reason, it just comes across a bit messy structurally to me. I don't think that it sounds bad. I mean, as a matter of fact, musically, I would say that it's actually pretty fun to listen to. The drumming is savory, the track is theatrical, and brings the comic to life with colorful display. It's just not for me. Nemo, go back to sleep. Say It's Alright, Joe. Upon reading the title of this song, it sounds like one of those songs that's going to be really cheesy and like half-baked. But fortunately, nursing a hangover and having some deep thoughts has never been so painless. We sit alongside Phil at the bar as he speaks to his bartender, Joe, and just kind of sings his heart out and opens himself up to Joe and towards us as well. It's filled with light guitar, a softly pronounced bass line, and sprinklings of piano. And the warmth of the bass specifically feels like we're being poured a warm drink. Even without Joe saying a word, the air feels conversational as well. Or maybe perhaps it's just a soliloquy from a man who's down on his luck and he's openly expressing himself to a listening ear. However, the build-up and the drive in the chorus is unexpectedly thrilling, especially for a first listen, but even upon repeated listens, it is just so impactful. This is exactly the type of track that I would say is underrated. Opening with a cabaret-like swing, The Lady Lies lures me into favorite track territory. The aggressive guitar in the pre-chorus, that stunning bass playing from Mike in the chorus, the jazzy rhythm, especially on the hi-hat and the way that's set up. Listen, this one, I love this song like a lot. Even though not necessarily on the album, but the live show, the live viewing of this with Phil's good guy, bad guy antics on stage is just charismatic. And then Tony plays a very soulful bridge before the band kind of wraps up this tale. I think Genesis in this one has truly given me something special, and I like it. Follow You, Follow Me is kind of a mild tropical sunset to close out the album. I think that it sort of awkwardly follows the tracks that came before it, and it's kind of a missed up, not in its sound, but in the placement on the album. It just kind of feels out of touch with the rest of the album a little bit. But that doesn't detract my enjoyment of the track itself. Steady keys, softly impassioned vocals, it all makes this a very catchy song to listen to, and of course it would help the band get some radio time, which would lead to further attention to their music. It's probably the most okay song on the album. So anyways, those are just a couple of my thoughts on each of the tracks here, but let's get into my favorite moment, my favorite lyrics, and my song rankings for And Then There Were Three. So my favorite moment on the album is the chorus of The Lady Lies. I would say primarily because of Mike's bass. The whole thing is really good. I really enjoy the whole song, but I find that sweet spot in the bass every single time. My favorite lyrics are from Down and Out, and they are as follows. I don't talk round corners, it's right between the eyes. If you're slow, they'll run past you. Stand tall, see them falling over. I walk a straight line, right between the eyes. But show me the door, show me someone who will do it better. I think that this song and the lyrics here are almost kind of like a little bit of bravado from the band. Like, yeah, we've weathered some departures, we've weathered some failures, but guess what? Show me someone who's gonna do it better. And no matter what we do, we're gonna do it at our best. You may not always like what we do, but we're going to follow our hearts, our direction, our musical soul. And I think that they've proven themselves quite confidently in that. Getting into my song rankings on the album from my favorites to my least favorites, they are as follows. The Lady Lies, Down and Out, Undertow, Say It's Alright, Joe, Many Too Many, Burning Rope, Deep in the Motherlode, Snowbound, Ballad of Big, Follow You, Follow Me, ending with Scenes from a Night's Dream. Hope that you guys enjoyed the album review. Thank you so much for being here. Really enjoyed your company. Hope that you enjoyed mine as well. Of course, you're more than welcome to let me know your thoughts on the album. You can put those in the comments. You can follow me on Twitter if you'd like to talk about it there as well. You can support the channel on Patreon, or you can buy a shirt. Those are all linked below. But most of all, thank you so much for watching, especially if it's to this point. And I hope that you come back tomorrow. I'll see you then. Bye.